Welcome, Soul Sisters. I'm Kelley, life coach.
And I'm Holly, owner of Holiday Farms. And Kelley and I co-host a group called Soul Sisters on the Farm that meet at my farm every other Tuesday night for women to come together and create friendships and talk about some soul issues and how loving our souls and building community and stuff.
I thought by the time you get certainly to your 40s that you don't feel rejected by other people. So a quick little story of this example is about 10 years ago when I moved into our neighborhood. I had little kids, little toddlers, and there weren't a lot of families with toddlers in the neighborhood. But
I know the story you're about to tell. I've lived that story too.
Around the corner were two women. They both had kids. My kid's age. And one day, we would be friendly with one another, say hello when we passed. And one day I was walking and I saw the two of them sitting in their driveway with their kids playing. And I got such a bad feeling, like, why wasn't I included? I'm new to this neighborhood too. I don't have anyone for my kids to play with. It really would have been nice to be included. And it felt like such a personal rejection. Like there's a reason they didn't want to include me.
Burns.
And I started evaluating myself as a human being. Like, am I kind enough? Am I nice? Do I listen?
Am I cool enough? Am I
cool enough?
Maybe they don't like how I dress.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I can be funny and I have good stories, and why wouldn't they? It was like I reverted to a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
Being rejected in middle school. And that blew me away. I thought, surely we age out of that. But we don't. We really don't. And I have heard from other women just small little examples like that where a good friend rejected them over time, or someone, at school didn't include them in, when I say at school, like through the school moms or something. And no matter how old they are, whether they're in their 30s, 40s, 50s, it stings still.
It does sting. I always still try to find the good in people. And usually when you go looking for the good, you'll find it. So I don't like rejecting people.
So you're okay being rejected, but you don't like to reject.
I don't like to reject.
I think if you're not, rejection resilient like Holly, and are a little bit more rejection sensitive like I am, because I think it still stings for me. I mean, I recover, but I sting.
Well, I think that's resilient.
Well, I was going to say, I think what helps, and Brene Brown talks about this, is when you feel the feelings and the voices of shame, which shame will tell you you're not good enough, right?
Yeah.
And when you're feeling rejected, you're feeling not good enough, because if you were good enough, then they wouldn't have rejected you. You pick the phone and you call one of those people
and
that
you ask
are in your life.
Questions.
Well, before
you accuse.
No. I'm just saying, you just call Soul Sister, or you call a dear friend.
Oh, Soul Sister.
And you just say,
I see.
I just went through this experience and it hurts, and I know it's dumb, and I know I shouldn't care, but it still hurts.
Yeah.
And I think when you can share that story with someone who loves you and will listen and offer some empathy, it does make the sting go away a lot faster.
I still feel the sting. Especially because I don't reject many people, and I'm an inclusive person. Yeah. So when people exclude me, it still stings. That definitely happens. The process of healing from it is just a lot shorter than it used to be. Not everybody is going to fit, and that's okay.
That is okay.
And generally, that the saying, 99.9% of the time, it's not about you.
Yes.
If they're rejecting you, most of the time it's because they've got bigger issues in their life that they're dealing with. Or they aren't self-aware enough to know to lean in and look for the good, or and that's okay too. But rejection sucks. I took a test once that showed that there are 4 types of personality traits with this. There's the inclusivist, the person who includes everybody, the person who wants to be included in everything, and the exclusivist, the person who only wants certain people around, and the person who doesn't want to be invited to anything. And
That's me sometimes.
You can be a mixture, but I am 100% too inclusive. I want to include everybody, and I want to be included. Yeah. And as someone who includes everybody, my feelings do get hurt if I don't get included.
Yes.
And you see, that is what social media has really fucked with us on, because
we see what everyone else is doing.
We see what they're doing. And we see that those girlfriends all went out and you weren't included. And quite frankly, most of the time, it's generally based on, they happened to be at a play date that day and all said, let's go out together, and so much is going on in life and they just didn't think to invite. Or we only have 4 seats in our car. Or it usually has nothing to do with you. And if it does, then they ain't your people.
And that's good too.
Yeah. And you need to find your people. And you'll attract your people when you just become more self-compassionate and loving and stuff. But I do really feel for people who feel rejection hard.
I do too. And I think the thing I'm taking away from our conversation is that rejection can feel really, really intense and like a big thing that has you, really wounded for 3 days and unable to go about your daily activities, but can also be very small and be a sting, but it's still important to recognize the hurt, to love yourself through the hurt. Reach out to a friend that you can share the story with, because they'll share their story of rejection too, and you'll know you're not alone. Out of,
and to talk to your soul sister
or a good
therapist, to remind you you are loved, you are lovable, you are sweet, you are kind, you are beautiful, and that that's why we have to do these groups and have these soul sister meetings, so you can have people speak the truth into you and that love into you, because that heals. And hopefully we learn to really listen to that more than the rejection.
And the mean voice in the head.
Yes, exactly.
Well, soul sisters, remember to be kind to yourself. Next time.